Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes.
Hello, everybody, beautiful people.
Hello.
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 Maybe we should wait another 10 minutes. Our audience doesn't seem to have shown up yet.
Well, that's because Jenny's not here. It's her job to bring the audience.
Okay, I see the problem.
If you stream it, they will come.
Especially if it's porn.
Yeah, but then YouTube will shut you down. Good bug.
Unless it's cartoon. But still, I wouldn't do it.
Actually, they had a problem with the cartoon also. And all the artist had to do was to remove 2 dots from the cartoon so it looked like she was wearing a shirt.
Way to go.
Hey, it's new. StreamYard changed their logo.
Oh, the bed is like a duck.
It used to look like a regular duck. Now it's like a cartoon duck wearing
headphones
with an S on it.
Yeah. Their little icon is just an S. The little headphone S.
Must be.
I never understood what the duck was supposed to represent anyway.
Duck of death. That's what somebody calls it because they kept having StreamYards crash and screw up on them. So every time they crash and have to restart, it'll be duck of death.
Well, maybe that's why they're moving away from the duck now.
We watched Howard the Duck lately.
Why?
Was there a number 2? Howard the Duck?
No. I don't know. But it was absolutely not a bad movie. It only was silly because of the duck.
Duck tits, woo.
DuckTales, woo.
I don't know if they ever made a second Howard the Duck movie, but he did make a cameo in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Yeah. He cameoed in some of the Marvel movies. Well, different version of them, but no, they didn't make a sequel to that movie, and it's usually regarded as pretty bad. And we can't hear what you're saying in 401 there.
Oh, that's because I was touching my microphone and it was being sensitive.
Okay.
Then don't touch the microphone.
Well, I'm not going to talk about the topic until the audience shows up.
I don't even know what the topic is.
Okay, there's Junzu.
Yeah. Does anyone has a YouTube link?
Hmm?
A
Yeah.
YouTube link?
I do. Oh, there we go.
I have it already. For once, it is in my. I have it already. For once, it is in my. Oh.
Okay, so was Lee Thompson in that movie?
For once, it was in my. How do you call it? Yeah. Yeah, that was Leah Thompson, and it really looked like she can play guitar, because everything was right what she did. when she was the in that band.
So where is everybody? Half hour before the show, I posted the link out to all the usual places.
Oh, yes, Leah Thompson really did sing and perform her own vocals from the song in the Howard the Duck movie.
Yeah.
She did not play the guitar live, though.
But she can play the guitar because she knew how to hold it, and most of the people who don't know how to hold the guitar do like they're sawing something in half of. Well, that is not bad.
I don't know how to play the guitar, but I know how to saw things in half.
Angie Dell, okay, starting to get some people in, I can.
I just did that. I made the couch a little bit higher, so it was easier to stand up from with two pieces of 2x4, and that I had to saw off with my saw, and that's usually what you use a saw for.
And I can say that a viewer count here is not correct because we have more viewers in the chat than what the video count says we have.
Yeah, YouTube is known for that.
No. Sometimes once I had in Ivy in the Ivy video, I had 16 viewers, and there were only 2 or 3 of the known people in the chat. And when the video came online, there was only 4 views. So they're not very accurate with that.
Yeah, but I've also had it happen. I was in the side chat talking with 3 other people in the side chat, and YouTube claimed there was only 1 person watching. So YouTube just doesn't know how to count.
Okay, there's 5 now. That's more. That seems more accurate.
Do you get this where basically after a stream you have a bunch of watch hours, and then like a day later almost all your watch hours are gone in your analytics, but they do for that video, but the watch hours still appear on the channel?
I haven't caught that one, but I haven't really followed that.
I haven't really noticed myself.
It only happens
Stop
with
the
streams.
stupidity.
Hello, stop the stupidity.
Well, I don't know about stopping the stupidity, but at least we can always rely on Taco, so the stupidity has been at least postponed for 2 weeks.
Well, from what I hear, Israel did an attack, so Iran pulled out of the ceasefire. So yeah, we can thank Israel again for keeping war going.
Oh,
thanks to horrific.
So it didn't even
attack.
last 24 hours, huh?
Yeah. So let's see here. According to the passage of oil tankers to the Strait of Hormuz has stopped. Iran says it will withdraw from the ceasefire due to Israel's attack in Lebanon. Israel has once again killed any chance of peace after they committed a horrific terrorist attack against Lebanon. Thank you, Israel. Aren't we glad we have them as such great allies?
Yeah.
Well, they are, because
now I wonder who are the greatest terrorists, Israel or the Muslim countries?
Well, no, but see, since Israel got Iran to violate the ceasefire, we can say we were upholding our part of the bargain, and yet we can still go ahead and genocide Iran.
Yeah.
Isn't it nice how one genocide, justifies another?
Yeah, no. I'm just glad he didn't started throwing nukes and stuff.
Wait for it.
Oh,
Like now, not just Trump, but every member of Trump's cabinet needs to be brought up on war crimes for not removing him from office when he was threatening a genocide.
Yeah, but also for and also as brought on trial for all the people who killed themselves and who died because they had no medicine, who died in the street because they were. And you cannot say for now, but they didn't do that themselves. Hitler didn't kill anyone himself, but look what he caused.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do that. And somehow I have the idea that the people of Nuremberg would love to have Trump on trial there again.
Well, remember, Jigsaw didn't kill anybody directly either.
No.
Yeah, just
Uh-huh.
these people obviously have no conscience for letting him continue unchecked.
But I have one thing in mind. I think that Vance is a little bit behind this all. He knows how dement Donald Trump is, so he pushes him a little bit, and then he hopes to get Donald Trump removed with the 25th Amendment, and then he can be president. And I think Vance is worse.
I don't think he'd be worse. He doesn't have the cult following.
Yeah, but he is one of the founders.
He's not as big an idiot.
Of Project 2025.
That's true.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying he's not bad. I'm just saying I don't think he's as worse because he doesn't have the cult following to back up his bullshit.
Yeah,
but everyone like this. All these ICE agents need to go to trial, just like all the camp guards of the Nazis went to trial.
Yep.
And everyone who had a hand in this should go to trial.
I agree.
But see, Vance, some of his powers would be kept in check because not all the Republicans will support Vance the way they have supported Trump.
But this is a very, very dark page in the history of the United States, and I bet you a dime that it will be all polished up and by 25 years, and it was not that bad because America can't look bad.
Well, that can't be allowed to happen because then the lessons will not be learned.
Yeah, and it's not
that happens all the time in the United States. They have no lessons because they can't learn a lesson because they almost have erased slavery from the history books. Go to Germany. The children are really mandatory, have to learn what Germany did. They know what they did, and they say never again. But if it isn't taught, people won't know of it. And I had on Twitter, Ivy had a discussion with one of the most idiotic opponents ever. He's a Trump follower.
You need to be more specific on Twitter, X.
Yeah, I am specific, and then I get but like from these stupid memes, whatever. But But yeah, I even got some help from Jenny there, because this guy came up with that the Ku Klux Klan used to be the Democrats.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, but that was before the I call it the ideology change,
Yeah.
and that they won't see.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of them who believe that swap never happened.
I studied it. I have this whole thesis stuff laying around that I have one. If I can have it gone over and I proofread and stuff, that it is tough enough to get a PhD for. But I'm 71, and what would I do with a PhD? But I know a lot of them. I know more of American history than a lot of these MAGAs.
That's not saying much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to say you know much now. I say I know more history than most Americans because I was interested in it.
Yeah, unfortunately true.
And it was just because I discovered that if the Netherlands didn't help the USA, the new USA, that would probably it would be could be have ended much different than it is now. Because after the Revolutionary War, the United States was broke. Their weapons were worn out, and they couldn't do anything anymore. So, three of the founding fathers went with ships to Europe to obtain loans. And Adams, I believe it was Adams, he could speak Dutch. He went to the Netherlands and he got huge loans from the East and the West India Company. And what happened then, because Portugal, Spain, and all these countries were already sailing to what now is the United States to pick to grab their land, But all these traders of the Netherlands got letters of marque, and they attacked each and every one of these Portuguese and Spanish fleet, and they didn't even came halfway.
Yep.
Because the Dutch weren't that nice back then. They were a bunch of pirates, and their ships, these merchant ship, had 26 guns. What merchant ship has 26 guns?
Back in that time, that wasn't that uncommon.
Most had like 12 or something, but the 26 guns, they were built as ships of the line. Mm-hmm. That was why the Dutch had this enormous navy in that time.
Yeah, 26 is more like a battleship.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have that on my website. It is even in English. You can read it if you want. This whole thing.
Yeah, but it was also, going to the Dutch for trade, since we were no longer on good terms with England and not getting supplies from them.
Yeah, and one of these founding fathers was captured by England.
Yeah,
and he was kept. And I never see his name when the founding father is named. But I can't really remember his name.
But that was also a major component of us winning the war, was Ben Franklin going to France.
Yeah.
And convincing the French to attack the English ships. Not that France ever needed a reason to attack England.
Yeah, but we give just to give to
Yeah.
protect their investments in the new United States. All the trade ships, all of the West India fleet, got letters of marque, and they were free to attack every British ship,
Yep.
every Spanish ship, Italian ship, Portuguese ship on its way to the United States because they were they were up to no good.
Yeah.
And it is just fun to see that they didn't even made it halfway because the Dutch just yeah they just attacked them and they took them, and they grabbed some ships filled with silver and gold coming back from the South America in the yeah it was just a a side hustle. And even though that Britain, England once was a colony of the Netherlands.
No, I didn't know that.
It lasted only for a few months, but it is because the English, they were so fed up about their king that they asked the Dutch to kick this king off the throne. So William the Stuart, the William the second or the third or something, went with an enormous fleet to London. And when he arrived to London, there was an enormous army that collectively surrendered because they hated this king so much. And then he became king of England.
Hmm.
So, and because he was also steward of the Netherlands, he did a good job. Only he was not good at riding a horse because he fell off his horse, broke his collarbone, and he died, and that was the end of it. But during that time, in practice, they were a colony of the Netherlands. And don't tell them because they won't say it is true. It is history. They called it the Velvet Revolution because no shot was fired.
And at various times, they were also ruled by the Normans and by France.
Oh yeah, that is why you have so many French names in England and so many Scottish names, Norse names in Scotland.
Well, in the 15th and 16th century, the English nobles decided that English was the peasant language, so that they were going to speak French for about 50, 75 years.
Yeah.
So that's what got a lot of the French language and a lot of the French spellings that we haven't been able to get rid of inserted into the language.
Yeah, but that is in every country is that way. When when the Netherlands were occupied by the armies of Napoleon, a lot of French words just stayed and came up in the English. Same as in English, a lot of French words ended up there. But that's
Yeah, well, this is why we have things like why the English think that color has a U in it.
Couleur.
I suppose we should get on to our main topic.
And that is
the dead hippo.
That dead hippo.
Pygmy hippos?
Hippo.
Pygmy hippos. That's a mini hippo.
Yep.
Yes.
Which,
Hippopotaminimum minimus. Do they exist?
Yes.
yeah, no, they don't. It's a conspiracy.
Yes.
I'm about to bring that up.
Okay. How can you have a conspiracy about pygmy hippos? But probably it is American, so
Nope, nope, it's just me. I haven't heard anybody else talk about it. But this is what they claim to be a pygmy hippo.
Looks like me like a baby hippo.
Well,
Well, that one is a baby.
I don't think pygmy hippos exist. I think somebody just shaved a capybara. That's all. I just think somebody is shaving capybaras
so
and passing
cute.
them off as little hippos.
Yeah, that is a baby, though.
It's so cute.
But you know that hippos are the most dangerous species in the world?
Yes.
You cannot trust them at all.
There's an
And
adult
one
one.
bite into your half.
They're the most dangerous animal in Africa.
I suppose you could argue that humans are the most
Most
dangerous
dangerous-
animal in the world.
Yes, humans definitely are.
Yeah,
Humans
the
kill more
most
humans than
dangerous
any other animal.
non-human.
Humans kill for
The
fun.
most dangerous non-human animal in North America is actually deer, because so many people hit them with their cars. They cause so many accidents and fatalities that way.
I had that experience. Hit a deer and cost what the first shop estimated to be $9,000 damage to my van.
Statistically, the white-tailed deer is the
I
most
once
dangerous animal in North America. I would think that mosquitoes would be more dangerous, honestly.
Who's more dangerous?
Well, I mean,
No.
you take away pesticides and modern medicine, then
Yeah.
yeah, they will be more dangerous.
Yeah, it's modern medicine because
Once malaria,
basically not many people die
Once
of mosquito
malaria
bites
comes
anymore. Yeah.
So I had a coworker. If you want to know what he was like, you just picture Dale Gribble. Exactly like that, right down to the voice and the stupidity. Only without any kind of redeeming character qualities. So this asshole was whining about how he lived on the peninsula in Newport News, but he was bitching about how he was driving home in Suffolk, even though he lived on the peninsula, and he hit 3 deers during hunting season after exhausting his license. And his insurance company was going to basically disown him if he hit another deer. And he was bitching about this to me.
Ah.
And I'm like, you fucking live in Newport News. What the fuck are you crossing the James River Bridge to go to Suffolk every night?
More about the geography than I know of that area.
The James River Bridge is actually long enough where you can actually take pictures and see the curvature of the earth because it starts to sink below the horizon. The James River is the widest river in the United States.
Ah.
Not the longest, not the biggest, the widest.
Yeah.
I saw this video about Scotland. They had an area that was like a swamp. That it used to be like forests and everywhere. And they imported about 10 or 15 beavers there from Norway, and they completely changed the landscape there.
Yep.
That is if you want to, because the river wasn't running anymore, and now it runs again, and it is amazing. What do these beavers know?
Yeah, there was a, I forget what the name of the river was, but in Russia, that they were planning to dam a river. And they spent 2 years planning this project, and they had given it, a budget of like $2 million or something. And after 2 years of planning, and they were finally ready to start, they went out to the site and found that in 8 days, beavers had already done the whole job.
Yeah.
And in Scotland, you have the wild haggis.
Because the beaver was completely eradicated in Scotland, and now they have imported it again, and it is a miracle what's happening.
Yep. In Oregon, the beavers were, hunted almost to extinction in that area. So the U.S. Forest Service, realizing that, the beavers really had helped a lot with managing the rivers, did a project that they were airdropping beavers back into areas that they couldn't get trucks into.
Huh. Did the beavers survive?
Yeah, well, that's the beavers
Yeah.
were dropped in little boxes on parachutes that were
Okay.
designed to open on impact of landing. And they reestablished a population. Just kind of funny, beavers as paratroopers. You would have imagined that's just a division of the Canadian military.
Yeah. Para beavers. Well, if it works.
Beavers are an international syndicate of river engineers.
Mm. And in the meantime, we're being watched over by our windmill overlords.
Yeah, I don't get Trump's obsession with windmills, but
Wait until the windmills will start to revolt.
Yeah, and
Yeah, well-
you can't even tell the difference between a windmill and a turbine.
Trump paid off.
All these things with these 3 arms or 4 arms running around are windmills. You call them turbines, but there are no wind turbines. They don't exist. It is just to give it a more futuristic names.
No, there actually is a difference. A wind turbine generates electricity. A windmill was literally what they used to grind grain.
But it is still not a turbine. A turbine is a multi-blade thing with all different kind of stages in it. And a windmill doesn't have it. This is just an electricity mill. Well, and we have the Netherlands almost looks like a porcupine with windmills now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a French company had a contract to build an offshore wind farm that would have generated enough energy to power like 3 cities. I forget what state this was near.
One? We have several.
But the Trump administration paid off the French firm to cancel the contract. So after they were paid to build this thing, the Trump administration paid them to not build it.
Wow. And they say, okay, like that. And Trump with this beautiful clean coal.
Yeah.
Clean coal.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
We have
Right.
coal.
By
We have,
very nature, you have to create CO2.
but it's
Yeah.
not CO2. It's the micro dust that it gives.
Yeah,
That
but
is the
burning
most
it does
dangerous
release
stuff. That is more
CO2.
dangerous than asbestos.
Yeah, but burning it does create CO2 because all coal is compressed carbon.
Is carbon.
Oh. But the CO2 can be. I forgot. We're just destroyed a third of the world's forests.
Yes.
So that is gone. So that's a little bit of problem with the CO2.
Well, she hasn't shown up today. I guess she's probably either feeling bad or getting whatever
Yeah, she may
poisons
just
needed.
be recovering from a treatment.
Yeah, we're getting a treatment.
Yeah,
Who knows?
I
Maybe
sent her a text to see if she was around. I didn't get any response.
maybe just sleeping off whatever she needs
Yeah.
to sleep off.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Was that if she got a treatment this morning, she was probably sleeping it off.
That would do it. Or maybe some heavy pain medications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so if she could pop in later in the show.
I know that this afternoon here, she reacted on one of Ivy's posts on when I told you about it. This idiot who put a Ku Klux Klan photo and said, "Hey, these are the Democrats" and stuff. That one. And she answered it, "Yeah, another one that never has heard of Dixiecrats."
Yeah.
We still some kind of a guard Jenny is still some kind of a guardian angel over Ivy.
So I ran a little experiment. I asked Grok, ChatGPT, and Gemini a few questions here. But hypothetically, we appoint you, fill in whatever the AI was, as president of the United States of America. Who would you pick for your vice president? Who would your cabinet picks be? What policies would you want to enact, and what would your day one and business on day one be? It's interesting. Some of the answers I got. Grok was more of the conservative Republican in having RFK Jr. as vice president and as Secretary of Health. ChatGPT took more of a neoliberal route with mostly neoliberal Democrats, and Gemini was actually the most creative out of the three. The having Dolly Parton as vice president, and I thought
she cannot do worse than anyone that we have now.
I'm not sure how Dolly Parton would be as vice president, but I can. Yeah, but we can't really hear what you're saying, Commander. Anyway,
that was the noise thing. I had to get the microphone that actually stands on something because I keep hitting the microphone in my headphones.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the Secretary of Education that Jim and I picked actually didn't sound like that bad of an idea. It was LeVar Burton. I could actually see him doing that job.
Yeah.
Geordie LaForge.
Yeah. I could actually see him in that position, honestly.
Well, did you hear that the CEO of IKEA was elected president of Sweden? He should have his cabinet assembled by the weekend. That was a Sloth Girl joke. I agree with Robin. Just as England should have gotten rid of Charles and let the country be run by the corgis, the US would be better off if we let the country be run by cats.
I wasn't, for my own picks, I wasn't really sure who I'd put in the Secretary of Defense, and both Gemini and Grok recommended Tulsi Gabbard.
For defense?
Yeah.
I could definitely
she's a Russian asset.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about that choice. Well, I do have one that you'd consider a Russian asset in my picks, but they wouldn't be in a position that would be of use for that kind of thing. And that pick would be Jill Stein, and I'd have her in either education or in health, being that she, or not education, energy or health, seeing as she's always big on whole Green New Deal. Well, we need to be more, environmentally conscientious. Is okay. Let's put her money where her mouth is. Or I'd like to say put her into Secretary of Health, seeing as she has a MD. I'd want somebody who actually does have an MD in that position.
Well, I'd definitely go with Bernie Sanders for being Secretary of Human Resources. Let Bernie Sanders write all our social programs.
I actually considered him for either Tim Walz or Bernie Sanders for VP. And whoever doesn't get that VP spot between the two of them, we get the Department of Education. And my pick for Department of State, Barack Obama. He had pretty good diplomatic skills. I didn't like I do have issues with the guy. And the also reason why I want on him is being a former president and having a direct line to somebody who is a former president and already had the job. And he's also the only one who has a working brain and isn't in the Epstein files between the current living presidents.
Well, Barack Obama could be very effective at negotiations if there happened to be a drone hovering in the room.
And finally, the last one I had in mind for Department of Veteran Affairs was Jesse Ventura. He's a veteran himself, and I believe he does have great concern for the well-being of others, particularly veterans. So I think he'd be a good pick.
Well, having lived in Minnesota when Jesse Ventura was governor here, the conclusion I came to is, that while he had some good intentions, he really didn't understand finances at all. So I don't know if he would be capable of working within a budget by any means.
Well, that'd be a good reason why not to put him in as a treasurer.
Yeah, but to make him head of any department and to tell him that he's got a limited amount of money to spend, I don't think he'd be really good at allocating the money. I generally liked his policies and I did vote for him, but that was the one thing that I found after we had him here for a few years was that, allocating the money became a problem.
Yeah. I just think I'd still want him in the position.
Well, you had mentioned LeVar Burton. I suppose maybe we should just, extend that and just make your cabinet the entire crew of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Put Riker as Secretary of Defense.
That was Jenni's pick.
Yep, and Picard obviously was a very good diplomat.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't actually want the actors in the.
Yeah.
Are you needing a bath or something? You've been itching a lot lately, Molly. You don't have fleas, do you? I haven't noticed any fleas on you.
I found a picture of Ivy when she was offering to be the CEO of Twitter.
Ah,
I sent it here. Yeah, see?
well, it definitely would have been better than what we got.
Well, she looks good in a suit.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, Molly could be having an allergic reaction to some plant that's just blooming. I've been trying to trim Ethan's claws so he'd stop snagging on my blankets, but he's not really letting me do it. I got like 3 of them trimmed and he won't let me do anymore.
Yeah, sometimes with Molly I have to only trim like one nail and then let it go for now. Which I actually gotta get to. I heard dew calls are getting sharp.
Yeah, but it's like now he won't even let me even do one day at a time.
I use a grinder too, so I don't use the clips.
Yeah, I was gonna try that with him too.
You have to get him used to the sound, by the way.
Yeah, I know. But he's pretty much used to the sound of, I've got one of those electric sweater shavers that I use to pick up the snags from the blanket. So he's pretty calm with that. So he's kind of used to the electric motor.
It's funny how Molly acts with getting her nails trimmed. This old melodrama. Like, oh.
Yeah. Well, I wish I could get across to him that if he would let me do it, then I wouldn't have to stick him in the carrier and take him to the groomer to get it done.
Okay, and I guess you were talking about cats. Yeah? Try to do that with a Pygmy Hippo.
Doesn't the hippo have something close? Well, no, they do have separate toes.
I mean, take a Pygmy Hippo to someone to groom him. Ooh.
Yep.
That will be fun.
Well, Molly's son has a bearded dragon, so he has to snip his claws.
I don't know. Would you really need to trim a hippo's toenails?
Well, I suppose for a hippo, that it would be pretty much the same kind of thing. It's a matter of whether or not they're walking around on something that would help wear them down.
It looks like their toenails are naturally blunted.
Yeah. Well, they use them differently. They're not so much for scratching as they are for digging in the mud. It's like, yeah, hippos don't swim either. hippos basically just run around along the bottom of the river, and like jumping up often enough to catch a breath of air.
Oh, I thought they were doggy paddling.
No, they just keep pushing up from the bottom.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't want to get one of them after me.
Nope.
Not very good at running away.
Well,
Yeah,
enjoy
no.
yourself.
I'm sure they could outrun a human. And yeah, hippos kill more people than crocodiles.
Try not to strangle anybody.
Yep. Of course, in the U.S., sharks kill more people than cows. Or cows kill more people than sharks.
Yeah.
And just
because cows hardly ever kill sharks.
Yeah, that's true.
How would a cow even kill a shark? I mean, the shark can't get on land, and if you dunk the cow in the water, the cow can't do fuck all.
I think it's different. I think a cow kills less people than he kills sharks. She's a cow. And beside that, these Holstein Friesian cows, they are so sweet and so nice. You can cuddle them, and they love it. And
Yes, but could they stand up to Cocaine Bear?
I don't know. Don't even know what it is.
Well,
Cocaine Bear.
Actually, cows are reasonably good swimmers, so I suppose there's a chance that a cow could be swimming, and if it kicked a shark with its hooves.
I want a sequel to this movie: Cocaine Bear versus Meth Gator.
Yep.
Meth Gator?
Yeah. There was a rumor in Florida that they're dumping meth into sewers, and so the gators were getting addicted to methamphetamine, so they created meth gators.
There must be a little running on turbo constantly.
Interesting enough, this Cocaine Bear thing actually does have some roots in a real story, where some cocaine got dumped onto a bear and it went nuts for at least a little bit until it died.
Poor bear.
Yeah, well, it was some drug smugglers had just, ditched the supply, a couple of bricks of cocaine, and the bear ate some of it. But yeah, basically he just kept eating the stuff until he died.
Yeah. It is not the most healthy stuff to eat.
No.
Hello, demon orbs.
Hello.
I wonder how far is Slim with these edibles.
Sinister Porpoise, is this you playing your ukulele, or
who's playing the ukulele?
Sinister Porpoise just sent EEFGG, so it looked like a musical scale of some kind to me.
Oh yeah, probably from some song. They don't have any musical instruments up here.
Actual headline: Are OnlyFans models the best way to explain the climate crisis? I'll watch, probably won't hear a word. Okay. Yeah, Unfinished Journey just said the bear died immediately.
Yeah. Unlike the movie.
Yep. Again, don't remember what city it was, but John Oliver was reporting that tests on the water treatment plant for this one city were showing that their drinking water contained like 30 times the national average for cocaine.
Wasn't it the same with money, that all dollar bills have traces of cocaine on it?
I'm not sure all dollar bills.
Yeah.
But just the
Most
idea
of
that
them,
this
if you
entire
get
city, had a level of cocaine like that. That it's like, what's going on? Are people just flushing cocaine on that regular basis?
Well,
of course, and there is always the problem that with the police drug bust that like 30 kilos of cocaine will be seized, but there only will be 20 kilos when they go to check the evidence room.
Okay, here we are. Approximately 79 to 90% of U.S. dollar bills circulating are contaminated with detectable traces of amounts of cocaine. So pretty good, pretty high number.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I should be able to get high if I just go to the bank and get a pack of dollar bills and lick them all.
Oh no, they had no news. The used ones, not the new ones.
Yeah, but if you're getting them from a bank, it's probably going to be just the ones that they took in and rebundled.
Okay.
They only send them back for cleaning if they're in really bad shape.
Yeah. We were one.
Dynamite.
I'm talking about funny movies. We saw Ace Ventura yesterday.
The first one.
I'm glad Jenny's not here for this discussion.
Both.
The first one and the second one. The first one, I wound up seeing so many places that I had actually been.
But if you think
I used to live in South Florida.
but if you think Ace Ventura was crazy, the director of that movie made another movie, and that is absolutely the most idiotic movie I have ever seen. You can't stop laughing about it. And it's called Kung Pao.
What's it called?
The Fist.
Oh, that one.
Oh, yes.
He gets help of two gophers, and he uses them as nunchucks and stuff. It is really, and he uses an old classic karate movie as to go around and stuff. Oh man.
Yeah, that's one of those movies that are just over the top ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, but then to think, I thought that Steve Odekerk, I saw them there for the first time, and I never would think that he is really a serious director, because he had done really serious movies. And have you seen Kung Fu?
So, like, when we were... Finish what you're going to say.
That Kung Fu Shuffle. You know, that idiotic film.
Kung Fu Shuffle sounds more like a dance move.
No, it isn't. It is one of the most ridiculous kung fu movies I have ever seen. I think it's original Chinese. It is so. That is also so over the top. I think it's Kung Fu Shuffle.
Commander, what were you going to say?
Oh, nothing. The moment has passed, and it was about just me blabbering on about different parts of South Florida as Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, the first movie, was playing. Like, this place exists. Yeah, the outside of this building exists, but the inside there, that's not Vizcaya. And various other things. And then, since it involved the Miami Dolphins, I was like, that's actually Don Shula. They actually got some real Dolphins players, including Dan Marino, to be part of that movie.
But still, the one who gave made the Ace Ventura hairdo should get an Oscar.
There was a children's television series for quite some time. The monkey became the star of the movie the second time, or the co-star.
Yeah, but that was also the same when you see the TV series of The Mask. The Milo the dog becomes the sidekick.
Yeah, I never saw the series for that.
Oh, there's only one season. I have them both on one DVD.
Series? The cartoon or
the cartoon? I have them.
Yeah.
And it is all the criminals he meets, he just annoys them into surrender.
Submission.
Interesting enough, the mask comic book that was based off of was actually a lot darker.
I was just looking at a comic strip online the other night that this little kobold was sent to assassinate a dragon. And of course, the dragon's not taking her seriously and goes and finds he can't attack. And the kobold pulls out this card that says, "Me first. This is my only unique power. No one can attack me unless I attack first." You know, and the dragon's saying, "Well, go on and attack me." He's like, "No, because if I do that, you're just going to one-shot me." So how are you supposed to assassinate me if I can't attack you and you can't attack me? She says, "Well, I might just hang around here long enough to annoy you until you do it yourself."
This Cobalt wasn't pink and a girl, was it?
Yes.
Oh, I think I might have seen that channel before with her squeeing over the bard.
Oh no, not that one.
I once heard this one thing talking about the attack of the 50-foot woman, and I thought it was a joke until I found out it was a real movie.
Yep, I think that was Raquel Welch in that one. Yeah, that was like an old movie from the 60s. Of course, we never did see the 50-foot woman against King Kong or the 50-foot woman against Godzilla.
Yeah. But when it comes to Godzilla,
there's more proof that Godzilla is real than there is about Goddess.
Yeah, there's more evidence of Godzilla than of God. that something like Godzilla can have existed in the prehistoric age.
Well, not quite to that scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit smaller, but
Yeah.
and it probably wouldn't be nuclear. And
Well, then basically all you've got is a T-Rex with Stegosaurus plates.
yeah, something like that. And I can tell you that I saw this video of the craziest fossils that they dug up. I think we were only seeing the tip of the iceberg. There were really crazy animals back then.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the chances of any animal getting fossilized are so small. That I'm sure that what we're seeing is like 1/100th of 1% of the animals that were alive.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Aaron Ra's attempts to cladistically categorize Godzilla?
Yeah, that was Godzillasaurus Dios.
Yes.
There we have it from
Godzillasaurus Diaz.
that was from the Aaron Ra series, The Fundamental Falsehoods of Creation.
They're rebooting so many of these old monster movies. I'm wondering why they haven't rebooted Gamera yet.
What is that?
Gamera was a giant turtle, Godzilla size.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that had like when he pulled his legs in from his shell, then he had jets so he could fly.
Yeah. He had jets and he flew. Yeah, I have seen one of them.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't brought that one back.
Give it time.
But you have so many of these Godzilla movies, and I must say that the one Godzilla -1, the Japanese Godzilla, that plays in 1946, not to 1948 or something.
Yeah.
I think that is the most impressive one there is.
Oh yeah.
Because it shows the devastation after the war and how they built up, and then I think that is the best of all. Where Godzilla really is the bad guy. He is now becoming the good guy.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, Gamera Rebirth is a 2023 Netflix original little anime series produced by Koto Okawa and ENGI.
Oh.
NG. So they did an animated reboot.
Yeah, I haven't had Netflix for quite a few years now, so.
Yeah, but I remember all these films from the time that VHS was there, and everyone was copying movies, and there were these video stores, but there were no legal video films, and so once one of these stores bought up a lot of these Japanese science fiction, and there I saw this turtle with rocket propulsion.
Yeah, that'd be Gamera.
Yep.
Yeah. And these films were so ridiculous, but they were actually quite good made also.
Yeah, the one I remember. Yeah, the one I remember that kind of stood out when I was young from the video store is Inframan.
Inframan?
Yeah, it was a movie. It's almost a Power Ranger-esque style.
Yeah,
I remember a series called Ultraman that was like that.
Yeah, it was sort of like that. This guy gets kind of like cybernetic components put into him, and he turns into Inframan, and he fights these guys and the monsters, and that looks like your Power Ranger costume monsters. It was a whole movie.
Yeah, I remember seeing a bunch of those things, like Ultraman and Johnny Sacco. playing on UHF stations before there was any kind of home video at all.
Yeah.
That was back before we even had cable TV.
I found that movie in the same video rental place that they had the Nintendo set up. It was the first time I got to play a Super Mario Brothers.
Ah,
So going back in the day there.
I played Super Mario Brothers on the console in the arcade that you still had to feed quarters to.
Yeah. You know what we are watching again? Beverly Hillbillies. I found it somewhere, and it is still hilarious.
Yes, that it is.
Yep. It definitely had its moments.
It's timeless.
Yep.
A little bit timeless, People
Well-
don't live like that anymore, but they will
Yeah,
again.
it is set in the 60s, so everything is 60s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed.
Right.
And then one day he was shooting some food, and up through the ground come bubbling crude.
Oil, that is Texas tea.
It was funny for the contrast between the greedy banker and Jed saying it's like, yeah, I've got more money than I need. Who can I give it to? Ow. I'm just trying to straighten my back out. I've just been feeling tired all the time. It's like, I thought I got a decent amount of sleep last night, but
Must be going
still
round.
ready to fade out again.
Must be going round. I have the same.
Yeah. I just hate that this keeps happening to me. It's like every afternoon now and hard to get anything done. Not that I ever had the motivation to get anything done in the first place, but, I'm not sure. Would it feel better if I wasn't getting anything done because I was just tired, as opposed to not getting anything done because I felt okay? I just didn't have the motivation to do any of the things that need to get done. So, Mage, how's your story going?
Pretty good. I decided I'm gonna rewrite this first part of the of chapter 10, and I wanted to kind of split up things, stretch out the moment a little bit more. So.
Yeah, I'm having a bit of trouble with filling parts for mine that, it's like I've got a number of scenes that are impactful to the story, but I don't quite know how to string them together and, and how to demonstrate the time gap.
That's where
there were several months between these two.
Yeah, that's actually a question. That's actually questions where I'm finding AI to be useful. It can help me brainstorm that kind of stuff. But there's a few other things I'm changing, like the spiritual leader I called the Great Mother, kind of like off of the Native American Great Mother spirit thing. But it's a spiritual leader rather than a godlike entity. And I decided instead of having it be like a one of these per clan or basically per village, I'm just have like one for the entire tribe, which covers all the villages. And they're just based in the one village that I happen to be focusing on, and have others like other kind of spiritual leaders for each individual group, each individual village. So that's one thing I'm changing. And I made some fixes to scenes earlier on with the ravens. Had the wrong sound. They had them making the wrong sounds.
Making the wrong sounds.
Yeah, the sounds. I had
Corvus
had
Corvax.
yeah, I had the little baby raven cheeping, and that's not what they make. That's not the sound they make.
Ah,
So I had to
okay.
rework that into something more accurate. And also I had a nice little touch with the character. So my main character, one of my main characters, Okwa, he had found a raven during winter and nursed it back to health, and raised it to help him hunt, and he decided to name it Caw. And he's just kind of being made fun of because it's such a generic name, and it's like one of the few sounds that ravens don't actually make. That's a sound that crows make. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe something like his aunt was a crow or something. Hey, Ethan. You are breaking the one rule I've had. Well, 2 rules, but the first one you completely didn't bother with anyway, so.
You're talking to the cat?
Yes.
You were always talking to the
I have
cat.
this one table next to my chair, which is basically the only surface he's not supposed to be on.
And that's the one surface he wants to be on.
It was always fine for years. I don't know why it's just been like in the last month or 2 that he's decided that, yeah, we're ignoring that now.
Probably the banishing of Sami.
Yeah. And part of the problem with that is he just, if I'm not using my keyboard at the moment, he's knocking the keyboard on the floor. Which, unfortunately, when the keyboard lands upside down, it presses random keys and makes the computer do things I wasn't asking it to do.
That sounds familiar.
But yeah, he has just been a total lap cat. So he's either laying in the windowsill or he's laying in my lap.
Let's see, I came across where is it? This thing wants to work. Nope, that's not it. There it is. G.I. Joke.
Yeah.
I decided to came up with my own little lyrics was G.I. Joke, a real American zero. G.I. Joke is there.
Yep.
It's G.I. Joke against imaginary enemy, thinking he saved the day. He never shuts up, he's always drunk, committing more crimes over land and air. G.I. Joke, a real American zero. G.I. Joke is there.
You should record the song and post it as a short.
I'm still working on it. I'm thinking maybe G.I. Joe, the code name for America's is daring and barely trained special needs mission in force. Its purpose to defend and felons against accusations and accuse minority of being ruthless terrorist organizations determined to rule the world.
Yeah, there's a small town in Georgia that ICE bought a warehouse to set up a detention facility. And they realized that if they were going to house 15,000 people in this detention facility, that was basically going to take up the town's entire water supply.
Oh yeah, the person who's supposed to authorize sales of the buildings never got that past them. So they basically were just stealing the building.
Yeah, but so like one of the city clerks just went out there and put a padlock on their water meter, so they can't turn on the water.
No, they took over the building and they said we need to turn the water on. And this place was like, wait, I never got anything saying that we were running this building. I never got any sale of this building. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No, we can't do that.
ICE basically went into someone else's property and tried to steal it.
Basically, yeah.
And
it was vacant, but
no, from what I understand, ICE had actually paid for the property, but they never got any kind of approval, for what they intended to do with it. Which the city charter said that, yeah, for anything like that, and especially if you're housing a bunch of people, that the building has to meet certain criteria and everything.
Yeah, and they wouldn't allow it because it would use up all the water in the city.
Yeah. So just ICE never went through the channels to get any of the approval that you would need for this sort of thing.
I hope they spent a fuck ton of money renovating it so that they can't use it and they lose all that effort and money.
Well, I expect if they hadn't gotten the water turned on yet, they probably couldn't have done much of anything with it.
Unfortunately, any waste of money that they do like that is just taxpayer money being wasted.
Yeah, it's taxpayer money, and it's ICE has been notorious for paying anywhere from 2 to 20 times what the property actually was worth on the open market. So basically, it's just a way for them, to pay back money to millionaires.
Yeah.
You're good.
Well, but thank goodness that that Trump didn't made his threat come through yesterday.
Yeah. Again, though, I'm sure that Trump was just figuring that, he was going to get boisterous and they were just going to get scared and surrender.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Doom.
And now he's claiming that it's his framework that he invented inside his head that he agreed to, and nothing to do with the framework that Iran was very clear on.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, Trump needs to claim that was all entirely his plan and, nobody else did anything. So
there's
I'm wondering,
actually evidence that the Prime Minister of Pakistan got a draft because he posted something that said draft, and then he deleted it shortly after and reposted a finished thingy.
Yeah, well, in Trump's post, Trump did say that Pakistan had acted as an intermediary.
He has a lot of imagination.
Yeah, the problem is I'm pretty sure Trump is one of those people that after he tells a lie, he convinces himself of it. so that, he honestly believes the shit he says, even if everyone else knows it's impossible.
That would be very, well, yeah. You have these people who believe their own lies.
Yeah. Well, because he can't ever admit that he's wrong.
I remember it was 2015 December, and he sits down with I forget who the fuck it was, and he's asked, has he ever asked the pretend God thing for forgiveness for anything he's ever done? And he said no, and he didn't bring the Sky Daddy into the picture, and he just tried harder. And I remember people being thrown out of church for voting for a Catholic, John Kerry. And the excuse for throwing them out was Catholics believe in works-based gospels. And they don't believe in grace and all the other shit that the Republicans did and would say. So
Yeah.
basically, he was allowed to get away with saying something that people weren't allowed to get away with by proxy, by a third person they had no control over, that they would have just preferred to vote for because he wasn't a crook. Well, it wasn't as big a crook as W.
Yeah, Trump just posted a letter that he got from some evangelical priest, which basically boiled down to that, well, according to our beliefs, it doesn't matter how horrible you were when you were alive. As long as you accept Jesus as your personal savior on your deathbed, you're going to heaven.
And there's no need to feel bad about anything you've ever done.
Nope.
Or genuinely have a change of heart. All you need to do is say the magic words, whether or not you believe them, and you get to go to the happy place while everyone that you drove out of the church and enjoyed calling godless, who now curses that filthy God thing. Yeah, they're all going to hell because that's how evangelicals believe. It's sick.
Wait,
Well,
so
the only part of that belief I like is that at least it makes sure that I'm not going to heaven.
so if I just close my eyes and pretend to believe I get to go to the Playboy Mansion? You said the happy place.
Yeah, why not? I mean, all the kittens get to go to Valhalla and train with Odin all day.
There you go.
And that's just as valid as going to the great Playboy Mansion in the sky. And
Well, if there is an afterlife, I'm still counting on my Norse ancestors getting me into Valhalla. Because by some readings of the mythology, some of them say that anyone who dies with a weapon in their hand goes to Valhalla. And I am perfectly ready to argue that anything that I can manage to clutch in my last seconds of life, I can argue it being a weapon.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, if nothing else, if they say that's not a weapon, I just throw it at them and bonk them in the head.
You ever see it was Reddick? He kills somebody with his teacup, and then after he kills somebody with his teacup, he picks up like a little piece of metal and sets it down. Like, okay, you're next. It's like a pit.
Yeah. Death by teacup. But
Yeah, as
Who
long as they
remembers
don't.
this? Who remembers this Westboro Baptist Church?
Oh yeah.
Do we
I
have
think
to?
Oh,
I
they
think
were the
Westboro
worst.
Baptist Church took over because everyone is now crazy as they are.
Mm.
No, there were evangelicals who were just as crazy as they were all along. They just didn't get in the press as much.
yeah.
The evangelicals want, I literally believe that there are evangelical leaders who enjoy calling people godless and enjoy fighting, and that's their entire religion is conflict.
Well, there's
That's
a
all it
bunch of
is.
them who have been pushing the Iran and the Israeli wars because they believe that starting a nuclear war will bring on Armageddon, and then they all get to go to heaven.
Yeah,
And that's why these people have no regard for the planet and don't care about climate change because they're sure that it doesn't matter, that God's going to end the planet anyway.
But wasn't the rapture
When I believed
happening?
that there was a God,
Wasn't the rapture planned for
I would.
the Monday?
Well, they had said that the rapture was going to happen on Easter, and surprise, surprise, it didn't happen.
Yep. The only thing I've noticed is that the end of the world is definitely going to happen more frequently as I get older. Back in the 70s, you only heard it happening, like once every couple of years. And, now it's like you hear it happening a couple times a year.
Yeah. No,
It's date setters who just want attention. And then the dates come and go. And a lot of them manage to twist themselves into knots to kick it down the road, and people buy it.
That was a spiritual end of the world. We'll have the real one in next year. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I made a mistake.
Yeah, I forgot to carry the 3.
Yep, I made a mistake. The date I gave was based on the Sorelian calendar.
No, they don't say make a mistake. That you never make a mistake. It just
Yeah.
I remember once there would be the rapture would come, the waters would recede, and then everything. And I was sailing on this ship, and we were laying in the Wadden Sea, and then I wrote them. I made pictures of our ship laying on the bottom of the sea, on the seabed, and I said, "It must be happening. It must be happening." And then I said, "Yeah, see, it must be happening." And then the next day, I said, "It was just low tide."
when the water recedes like that, usually means you're going to get hit by a tsunami.
Yeah, but it was just low tide.
Yep.
And it happens.
Here's how it's all so fucking stupid. So the evangelical leaders are like, we need to control the 7 hills. And John said the 7 hills were the 7 heads on which the harlot rides. And then they basically go to fulfill all the prophecies in their books that would make them the villains while they call themselves the heroes. It's that retarded where they are becoming the villains in their own storybook.
But they're not the villains because they are advancing God's plan.
And it's fun because they literally are the villains that are described in the book that they say they're advancing.
Yeah,
and they can't even see it. It's
yeah,
all horseshit.
yeah,
But
and
I
what
just
happened
found
to
it amazing that
and what happened to those people who advanced the plot there in the book anyway?
well, it says that if you add or subtract anything to the prophecies in the book of Revelation, that the curses in the book will be added on to you. And the evangelical leaders are literally wanting to build their church on 7 hills of 7 mountains, the 7 mountains dominionist of human influence. And they talk about how in the last days the church is going to have a big say in global government. Meanwhile, the book says the church will be hunted to near extinction by the Antichrist, who will create a fake religion. You see where they are literally building, if you read the book. I don't believe it's real, but I bothered to learn the lore because I once believed it. And they are literally building what, when I believed in the religion, what I would have considered the church of the Antichrist.
Yep.
Yeah,
Not the Antichrist.
I could see the mega
Not
cult
the
as being the
Antichrist.
church of the Antichrist.
You know something funny about the word MAGA? So you go to Anton LaVey's Church of Satan, and that's the title he gave his wife, which is the feminine version of the Latin word mangus. So literally manga is the MAGA is the highest. MAGA is the highest female rank in Anton LaVey's Church of Satan.
Something that should make you very happy.
That would still fit for the evangelical crowd because, they believe that women have absolutely no rank. So the highest rank of the women would still be below any of the men.
Well, LaVey's Church of Satan is philosophically right-wing because it owes a lot of its philosophy to Nietzsche and Ayn Rand, whereas the Temple of Satan said, this is juvenile bullshit coming from LaVey. We're just going to take the piss on the existence of God, but we want to help people. That's an oversimplification, but I think it's still valid, where there's definitely a different philosophical goal.
Something.
Social goal.
Oh. Yep.
Something to.
Yeah, he's Karen. He's Kuf Resh Nun. That's a word Daniel used to describe the basis of the Antichrist figure that later emerged in the Christian tradition.
So we have.
And if you look at Daniel chapter 7 and 8, 9, it describes the wherever it says horn, just put the word Karen, and we're talking about the little horn, and it describes the behavior of a Karen.
Okay, what's Mage showing us here?
A little girl playing with a seal.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
Looks like they're friends.
Is that at Seaquarium or SeaWorld?
I'm not sure where this is. Doesn't look like SeaWorld.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we would go to Seaquarium all the time because that was like only about an hour trip versus going all the way from Broward County to Orlando.
See, the boys tried to get in on it, and
Yeah.
neither of them were paying attention.
Yeah, no, the seal's just focused on the girl.
Well, first of all, you notice the girl isn't actually tapping the glass like the boys are.
Yeah. Yeah, she's
She's
just like
getting the
spinning
seal
circles.
like something fast to move.
Yep.
She's tracing, she's playing while the seal is like, I think one of the reasons why Trump is such a miserable sack of shit is he got his dick caught in a zipper and part of it fell off.
Don't think so. Yes.
I was trying to find a picture of Trump going back where he may not look like an asshole. I failed. Even as a little kid, he looked like an asshole.
Yep. Well, zipper stories we're saving for the last show this month. That'll be Zipper Day. What? Right. Well, we seem kind of slow today, so why don't we just do our wrap up here?
All right.
By that time, we should be up to the 2-hour mark. So, Commander, what have you got going on?
Well, I think I got enough material to finish up part 2 of the thing I did last week. Let me get the link for it. I don't have my phone with me, so I'll send it through the Discord, and because I'm logged into Slim's account for the
Okay.
OBS. But I did a part 1. Well, it's not loading. Okay, here we go.
Hey, you can always put it up on the Discord later, and I'll send it out.
I'm doing a part 2 because I saved, like, I did halfway through because it was getting long. And then I'm doing a part 2.
Yeah. Okay, anything else you got going on?
I have nothing as usual.
Yeah, that's what's going on with you. It sounds like you're playing with empty cans over there.
Yeah, because I'm constantly like like last week, like the week before, like the week before. I'm constantly cleaning up my my workshop here, and constantly it gets a war zone again.
Hmm.
So this is my life. It is my man cave. Surrounded by computers, transceivers, parts of things I made up and stuff, and stereos I repaired, and now standing in a stack, and it looks uh, like a studio, but it isn't.
Oh. So, Mage, how are things advancing for you? Your electricity's proving stable now?
Yeah, it looks like it's stable. I still haven't set up a show. I've been too scatterbrained with that and trying to and working on the story I've been doing here. So, well, it's, like I said, I was just kind of revamping a few things in the story with the scene in chapter 10.
Yep.
I'm thinking about going back and revising a few things in the earlier chapters.
Yeah, you usually wind up doing that. You get into later chapters and realize that, yeah, maybe you should go back a few chapters and just give a hint that this is going to come up.
Yeah, or tweak some things. I kind of feel like I have a few things in there that are just going a little bit too quickly for pacing and.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so tight.
So tight.
But yeah, my story was originally just going to be one long novel, but it's broken up into 3 books now. So I've really taken on big
That's known
project
to
here.
happen.
And yeah, just brainstorming a few things for later books, like some of the torturous events going on in book 3 when I have slavers come in. I was using the Atlantic slave trade for inspiration on that. So you can imagine some of the horrific stuff I'm coming up with for that.
Yeah, I've been seeing more anthropology things coming up, showing that leaning toward the indication that nearly every species of hominids at some point resorted to cannibalism, and that it wasn't necessarily extreme situations that drove them to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's, the slavery and cannibalism seems to be just kind of inherent to our species development.
Well, interestingly enough, the whole cannibalism thing was actually not very common, according to at least what was documented. There was really only maybe 1 or 2 really major documented cases of that happening.
Yeah.
A lot, however, there was a widespread belief amongst slaves that the people taking them as slaves were cannibals.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of
it was a commonly
long
used
way.
piece of propaganda to,
Yeah.
Get people to fear the others.
Yeah, so I kind of took that. So one of the things I'm going to be doing later in my story, I guess I'm giving away a spoilers here, but oh well.
Yeah.
It was some of the characters with the son, and they realize, oh, this is this character's son, so they separate them. He doesn't see his son. Then later on, they bring him a stew. and they try and convince him that this is made from his son, and they
Yeah.
force him to eat it. It turns out it's all a lie, but
Yeah. Yeah, just the psychological tortures.
yeah.
Well, I don't have much going on. Basically, just putting off procrastinating about things, and so I will be back here same time next week. What, Mage?
And of course, I have the Thursday show tomorrow if Purple can make it.
Yep.
We'll just have to tie you down to your chair.
Well, and then Saturday, Granny's show will be the fundraiser for Jenny.
Oh yes, that's right. She invited me onto that.
Yep.
To see if I'm.
So, oh, excuse me. I should be there as well. I had another possible event coming up, but I don't think I'll be going to that. So I should be here for Granny's show. So with that, we will bid you all a good day, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, all.
Bye bye.